1 to 2 minutes, 30-second deviation only at the end to qualify.
You got it.
Oh, look at that.
Do you
Look
need the
at that.
do you need a title or anything, Skip?
For yeah, if you would like titles, you can put them.
I'll just send you a chat.
Okay, I put the link to
I'll do the same.
I put the link to the recording and the chat, so
Wait.
you should have it, Anna.
Oh, okay.
I didn't say anything. I just put the link. Now, the first link that I put in there is to our photo album. So if anybody wants to go and look at our photo album for our trip, you're welcome to do it. And yeah.
I don't see any links yet.
Kip, I'll need an evaluator.
Oh, no.
I don't think we have
afterwards.
evaluators.
Okay.
No.
I need one because I'm doing a pathway speech.
All
Double
right.
hit.
That is
Bragging, eh?
an evaluator.
Bragging, John.
Okay. Anybody else need an evaluator?
Yes,
like
I do. I'm doing an elective. I put it in the agenda.
Let me go look at the
It's
agenda.
called The Bird of Truth, and it's elective 3 in engaging humor. Storytelling, something about storytelling.
Seems like we'll need some time before the speeches to
Think we will
quickly
have-
pull together evaluators.
Yeah.
That's why we have a break.
But
Tom,
you're doing it on the pathway needs that.
Tom, I can evaluate your speech if you tell me what project it is.
This is a level 2, dynamic leadership, understanding your communication style.
Okay.
Maybe, Tom, why don't you self-evaluate? There you go.
Yeah.
Well, then I don't have to give the speech because I always be perfect.
Actually, it can be a private evaluation, right? Not for the group,
Right,
just the.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Send it.
exactly. That's all I'm looking for. Just so I
Private
don't-
and confidential.
Right.
Private and confidential.
Jim, are you in an RV in Italy?
No.
Okay.
Drove it across the ocean.
La
Yeah,
caravana,
No, we
la
took the
caravana.
tunnel.
Excuse me.
Oh, maybe you rented one there.
No, we
It's in a
not
B
really,
and B.
not really interested in doing that. We rented a RV when we were in New Zealand, and that was a lot of fun. But you know, we've been RVers, and we like to do something different when we're here. And while that would be different for most people, it would not be. It's not that different for us.
Hey.
Got it. Thank you.
So Jim Day, what's your project if you're gonna get evaluated?
Jim, you're muted.
Mute.
No, I don't have a project. I wasn't looking to be evaluated.
Oh, okay.
You just said, somebody said they wanted titles for our top titles, so that's why I sent it to you, but that's it. I don't really need one.
Okay. Let me go look in chat, see
I think
what.
Marie has a question before we start.
Hmm?
Marie, you had a question?
Yeah, Kip, I have a work commitment and will need to leave by 7:45.
Hey, well, we can put you up earlier in the agenda.
Sure.
I think we should be fine since we're doing table topics later, but I just wanted to let you know. Or you
Okay,
can put me up earlier, whatever you prefer.
okay.
All right,
Uh,
and it's
And
also,
Kip,
go
I'll
ahead.
put my title in right before my speech so you don't confuse them.
All right, and now it's 7 o'clock, so that means it's time for our Earlybird Toastmasters meeting. I am Randolph Bastine, your Sergeant at Arms. The mission of the Toastmasters Club is to provide a supportive, positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, which results in greater self-confidence and personal growth. As we continue to meet by Zoom, we ask that you practice good Zoom etiquette by keeping yourself muted unless you're an active speaker. We encourage you to use the chat feature and send a message to everyone or a private message to a speaker. And now it is my honor to introduce to you our presiding officer, Paolo Barone.
Yes.
There is a train rolling. Here it is. Its name, is Earlybird Toastmasters. Destination? Success. Yes, Toastmasters is a great way to success, both personally and professionally. And I have the privilege to be the conductor of this amazing train. Buongiorno! Good morning, Earlybird Toastmasters, and welcome back to the peak of the week, Thursday morning. And today we're going to have an amazing, extra amazing, super amazing meeting, the Tall Tales. Yes, we're going to have a lot of fun. And let's start with the invocation right away. Let's not waste time. Toastmaster Rock, please welcome to the stage.
Buongiorno, Mr. President, fellow Toastmasters. This morning's invocation is from Pulitzer Prize winning poet Mary Oliver, called Morning in a New Land. In trees, still dripping night, some nameless birds woke, shook out their arrowy wings and sang, slowly like finches sifting through a dream. The pink sun fell like glass into the fields. Two chestnuts in a dapple gray, their shoulders wet with light, their dark hair streaming, climbed the hill. The last mist fell away. And under the trees, beyond time's brittle drift, I stood like Adam in his lovely garden on that first morning, shaken out of sleep, rubbing his eyes, listening, parting the leaves like tissue on some vast, incredible gift. Fellow Toastmasters, may we enjoy the incredible gift of this day. Please please join me in pledging allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. President.
Beautiful, bellissima, thank you, grazie Toastmaster Rock. And now let's hear from Toastmaster Scott May, the joke master of the day. Toastmaster Scott, what did you get for us today?
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer. Hello, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Good to see you all. And to my special friend, Kip Barkley. Kip, I wanted to share one thing with you. Of all the guys I know, you are definitely one of them. And I mean that. I mean that sincerely, Mr. Presiding Officer.
Thank you, Toastmaster May. And I believe today we don't have a grammarian of the day, correct? No role, grammarian role today. No grammarian role. So let's move right away into the core of the meeting, the Tall Tales. And today, the subconductor of this train, the Toastmaster of the day, is going to be DTM Kip Barkley. Let's welcome to the virtual stage with a huge round of applause, DTM Barkley.
Very good, very good. We have Tall Tales today. I see a bunch of speakers. Everything will be 5 to 7 minutes. I see Val Cray. Do you have a Tall Tale today?
No, I don't.
Well,
Good morning.
You can think about it, and after we do the others, we'll see.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yes.
I believe we forgot something very important. My mistake, the self-introduction.
Oh, good idea. I'll step back. Go for it.
Yes, okay. So DTM Barkley, let's start from you. And I apologize for forgetting that.
I am here. I am nearly awake. I have made peace with Free Toast Host. They'll stop bouncing my AOL email. Well, maybe for a while. And life is good. I'm looking forward to a bunch of tall tales.
Thank you, Toastmaster Barkley. Toastmaster Scott May, please introduce yourself again.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I am Scott May. I am happy to be here. Looking forward to hearing some tall tales. It seemed like the morning to listen to them rather than to give one. So I'm happy to be in listener mode. So glad to be with you all. Mr. Presiding Officer.
Thank you, Toastmaster May. Toastmaster Gold, welcome back.
Buongiorno! We are in Tuscany in Italy, and it's so
No
nice
kidding.
here.
Wow.
And I've been hearing that buongiorno every day, not just on Thursdays. It's wonderful here. You have a beautiful country, and it's nice to be here in the afternoon instead of first thing in the morning. I didn't have to get up early this morning. Chris is in a writer's workshop today, and she'll be getting off for lunch shortly, and I'm going to bail, but it's wonderful to be here. It's wonderful to see you. I am competent Toastmaster Jim Gould, Mr. President.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gold. Have a good glass of Chianti for us too there. Enjoy Italy and Tuscany. All right, let's hear now from Toastmaster Quinn.
Good morning, Mr. President, fellow Toastmasters. Here we are in Fort Lauderdale. I'm going to take you on a journey in my talk. I'm looking forward to other people's tall tales. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Quinn. Toastmaster Richmond, I look forward to your tall tale today.
Mr. President, fellow Toastmasters and guests, you hear so much about my challenges living in this particular area. And today you are going to hear about something new I'm dealing with. Alita Richmond.
Thank you, Toastmaster Richmond. DTM Jim Day, welcome.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and most welcome guests. My name is Jim Day, DTM, and your treasurer. Today, another journey, as we are all on a journey through life. Back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you, DTM Day. And let's see here now from another DTM and another day, DTM Mary Helen Day.
Yes, Mr. President, and our guest and fellow Toastmasters. Yes, we are on the day of Tall Tales. No relationship to me, but hey, I've been known to tell a few. My name's Mary Helen Day, and great to be here.
Thank you, DTM Day. Here is another tall teller, Toastmaster Ilsen.
Good morning, Mr. President, fellow Toastmasters. Welcome guests. My name is Anna Ilsen. I'm Innovative Planning Level 3 and Engaging Humor Level 3. I am tall, but the tale I'm going to tell is a true story straight from Spain. Mr. President.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ilsen. Toastmaster Rock, welcome back.
Buongiorno, Mr. President, fellow Toastmasters, distinguished Toastmasters, and most welcome guests. My name is Marie Rock. I am a Visionary Communicator 5 and Strategic Relationship 2. Always enjoy the energy of this magnificent group. Mr. President.
Grazie, Toastmaster Rock. And let's see now from our amazing Sergeant Arms, Toastmaster Bastine.
Good morning, Mr. President, fellow Toastmasters, and all most welcome guests. I am Randolph Bastine here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and I'm looking forward to a fun meeting. And I also, which is not a, well, this is not a tall tale. I just had a milestone birthday, turning 40 on May 10th. Back to you, President.
All right, congratulations. You reached the peak of the life. Congratulations. So happy birthday. Should we sing for Toastmaster Bastine happy birthday later, maybe if we have time at the end of the meeting? All right. And let's hear now from the gentleman all the way from Spain, Toastmaster Jose Ferrer.
Good morning, my fellow Toastmasters. Mr. President, my name is Jose Ferrer, and my purpose in being here today is twofold. One is to verify the truth of Anna Ilsen's Tall Tale Teller, which is from Spain. And number two is to also tell Randolph that we share the month and birthday. I am earlier than you by 3 days, and fortunately for me, I'm also 2 years younger than you. Back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ferrer. I want to welcome our distinguished guest, repeat guest, Val Gray. Please, would you like to share the introduction with us?
Good morning, Mr. President and Toastmasters. I am looking forward to hearing the tall tales today and love the energy of the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Enjoy the meeting. And my name is Paolo Barone, the presiding officer of this meeting on steroids. Yeah, I'm president on steroids. I like the energy. I hope I provide the energy. I have so much fun every Thursday morning. I don't have a tall tale, but I look forward to hearing from all the tall tellers today. It's going to be an amazing meeting. I'm sure we're going to laugh a lot. All right. Now, let's really welcome the Toastmaster of the day on the stage. DTM Barkley, take it away.
All right, tall tales. Let's take care of a little matter of business. Who wants a written evaluation of their speech today? I'll make sure it happens. Mr. Quinn wants one. And anybody else? Anna wants one. Okay, that's two. Everybody else is just having fun time going along with this. Excellent. All right, tall tales. All cultures have some form of exaggeration and stereotypes, whatever it is they might do. And that's what we're playing with today. But we do have timing requirements, 5 to 7 on all of these. Mr. Timer, how's it all going to work out? Unmute.
Hello, thank you. Time of all speeches is 5 to 7 minutes. And with a 30-second deviation at the beginning or at the end to qualify, we'll turn on green at 5 minutes. We'll turn on yellow at 6 minutes and turn on red at 7. First time doing timer in about 5 years. And then we'll begin to flash if you go much over that. And then we'll figure out what to do from there.
Excellent. Excellent. All right, some people can double dip and grab a little manual credit on this project. So coming up, here's going to be a level 3 elective of engaging humor, connect with storytelling. Toastmaster Anna Ilsen explores the unforeseen advantages of learning avian language, now offered virtually by most language academies of disreputable distinction. The title of her speech, The Bird of Truth. Here is Toastmaster Anna Ilsen.
Mr. Tall Tale Master, fellow Toastmasters, welcome guests. Pay close attention. There's a lot of characters in this story. A fisherman found a boy and a girl in a crystal cradle floating in the river and brought them to his wife to raise as their own. As they grew up, their older brothers were cruel to them, and these two ran away often to the riverbank, where they would feed breadcrumbs to the birds. In gratitude, the birds taught them to speak bird language. One day, an older sibling taunted them about being orphans. They couldn't take it anymore and went out into the world to seek their fortune. When they stopped to rest along their journey, they heard birds gossiping. There's a lot of gossip in bird world. And one bird said that the king had married the youngest daughter of a tailor, in spite of the opposition of the nobility. The king had gone off to war, and when he returned, he was told that his wife had given birth to twins who had died. The queen had gone insane with grief, and they shut her up in a tower in the mountains where they thought the fresh air might restore her to sanity. As it turned out, her babies had not really died, but a malevolent chamberlain had taken them to a gardener's cottage, and that night he threw them into the river in a crystal cradle. Got it? When the children heard the story, they put two and two together. They recognized it as their own. The bird then went on to say that only the bird of truth could convince the king that the children were really his. The bird of truth was in the custody of a giant who only slept a quarter hour a day. He had insomnia. In the castle of Come and Never Leave. This was a precursor of Hotel California. Only a witch knew the way to the castle, and she would not share it unless she was given water from the multicolored fountain. To make matters worse, the bird of truth is surrounded by malevolous birds, and only an owl could tell them apart. The brother and sister went to the city. They found hospitality for a night. They were so cooperative that the innkeeper asked them to stay. The girl did, but the brother continued on his quest. A dove directed him to follow the wind, and by following it, he reached the witch's tower and asked the way to the castle of Come and Never Leave. The witch asked the boy to stay the night, but when he refused, she demanded a jug of the multicolored waters, or else she said she would turn him into a lizard. She then directed a dog to lead him to the water. Woof, woof. At the castle, the boy heard the owl's cry and asked for its advice. The owl told him to fill the jug from another fountain and then find the white bird in the corner, not the brightly colored birds. Those were the evil ones. He had a quarter of an hour to do the task while the giant slept and succeeded. When he brought back the water, the witch threw it over him and told him to become a parrot. But she had lost her powers, and instead he became even more handsome. And all the creatures in the hut threw themselves into the water and became human again. The witch fled in shame, having severely damaged her reputation. The courtiers who were responsible for originally abandoning the children tried to prevent the king from learning the truth, but they talked so much about it that the king overheard the commotion. This gossip goes wild, and became curious. When the bird of truth flew to him, he listened. The king at once went to embrace his children, and then all three of them freed his wife, their mother, from the tower. From all that fresh air, she was now fully restored to sanity. The wicked courtiers were beheaded, and the fisherman and his wife, the adoptive parents, were given all sorts of riches and honor. The moral of the story is this: whenever you travel to Spain, be on the lookout for babies floating on a body of water in a crystal cradle, and be sure to adopt them. There's trouble ahead if you do, but if you learn bird language, which is currently offered in many language academies, all will end well. However, the downside of this is that the witches' union will let you hear from them. Mr. Tall-Tail Master.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Please put some notes in the chat for Toastmaster Ilsen, especially about the parts you believed. Let's see. We have another speech coming up. It's all about the return to Alaska by our very own Jim Day.
I've got to share the screen, so just a second here. Here we go. As you know, we have been traveling, Mary Helen and I. However, I really did not want to miss an event that goes on in Anchorage every year. So I hopped a Alaska Airlines aircraft up through Seattle and back to Anchorage last week to participate in the annual bike blessing and a group ride to Seward, Alaska, which is farther south of Anchorage, down in the peninsula. My friend, Travis, was up there waiting for me. He's the one that convinced me to go, and he's a fellow former employee, or current employee of the town. I did not have my own bike up there, and it's too expensive to ship it. So Travis allowed me to use his second motorcycle. A lot less comfortable than the one I have here. No stereo, no backrest, no GPS. This was going old school. So I joined this bike gathering for the bike blessing before we way back there in the corner, probably bike number 427 of this annual event. When people are able to get out and come out. So this is one of the biggest events in Alaska. And there's Travis on the left in the gray shirt as we are looking at his other bike that he is going to ride. Not much better than the one he let me have. I miss my Ultra. And here's the group. We got on the bikes and we headed on the 4-hour trip down the peninsula on the Seward Highway, heading all the way south of the city of Seward. As we got down there, we decided to stop and take a photograph of the group. And I'm way down there on the end. I was always at the back of the group because I was joining them in their ride, not my ride. When we went down there south of Seward, we were really happy, and it's an annual event. However, some of the locals were not real happy about us being there. And this particular local and his friends decided that we should leave. So up on his paws he got and started chasing the bikes. We revved up, we mounted up, we got the heck out of there because the big bear always wins. We scurried up the Seward Highway, avoiding all these potholes and lack of shoulders with the bear hot on our tail. And it's a good thing that the bear chased us, because just after we passed along the Seward Highway heading north toward the town of Seward, an avalanche occurred, blocking off the Seward Highway last week and locking us out. If we had been stuck where that bear first started chasing us, I would still be in Alaska because there was no way around this. And it may be 6 months before people in that community can travel by road once again. Up until then, it's going to be ferry time. So back in Anchorage, relaxed, watching the little bit of sunshine that is there and being able to get a good night's sleep really was comforting. The next morning, I woke up, went over to the airport, and here's Gertrude, my old friend that was living in the airport parking lot of Raven, Alaska. She's still there. Got up real personal and close with her, but not too close. Her baby had grown up and gone away, so I didn't have to worry about being attacked. Then back onto the airplane, back onto another Alaska Airlines. Another free flight home, part of my retirement package. So I arrived back in Florida, the safety of Florida, in Alligator Alley, when I don't have to worry about bears and I don't have to worry about moose. I just have to worry about my little local friends down here in the alley. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Jim Day. Thank you. Thank you. Take a moment to write.
How do I unshare?
How do you unshare?
Oh, there it is. Never mind.
You got it.
Sorry about that.
Got it. Okay. Do write a love note in the chat. Those are good. Those are good. Hey, we're coming up on our next story. Why, it's a mystery tale. I have no introduction, but this is by a lady who needs no introduction. Our very own Mary Helen Day, a mystery tale, Mary Helen.
Okay, yeah. Oh, listen, I don't know if I can top that story. That was pretty good, eh? But, you know, Jim and I do have a lot of stories that we like to share with one another. And I'm so happy I have the opportunity to share one with you, because I know you're going to be interested in this one. Well, those of you who are friends of ours on Facebook know that we just took the trip of a lifetime celebrating Jim's retirement. So we decided to blow it out and take a river cruise on the Danube and see all those countries that used to be part of the Soviet Union, but now are on their own pretty much. Well, every place was spectacular, and I'm not going to bore you with my tales and my pictures of my trip. However, I have to tell you this about what happened at the very end when we were in Istanbul. Now, Istanbul is an amazing city. Maybe some of you have been there, but I was blown away by the diversity, by the mystery, just the whole glamour of the city. It was just incredible. And we had a wonderful time. We were there for 3 days. We had a wonderful guide. He took us all over the place. And there were one of us in our group that wanted to see about buying a rug. No, I wasn't interested in buying a rug. You know, we don't have rugs in our house pretty much, but we were a group. We went along with them. We went to this local place where they were serving us lunch and plying us with alcoholic drinks. Now, I knew that could be a problem when they were trying to apply us with alcoholic drinks, right? Because down we went into the place where they were selling these amazing Turkish rugs. Now, first of all, they showed us the woman they got from one of the villages that was showing us how she made the rug and did it so carefully. And we oohed and awed over that. It was so wonderful. He went over the whole history of the Turkish rugs. And from what we could see and what we did, we went upstairs and there were rooms and rooms and rooms loaded with these rugs. And I thought to myself, uh-oh, we are in trouble now. I said, Jim, what are we going to do? Because all of a sudden they were very friendly and they were very attentive and very close to us. And the gentleman flipped out the rugs one by one, looking to see what our reaction was. And of course, there were those in the group that had an interest. I'm saying, Jim, we don't need to buy a rug. And I said, do you want a rug? He goes, no, I don't want a rug. He says, well, how about a rug with the frame? And I said, I don't want a rug with the frame. So I said, well, let's just go look around and see if we can shake these people off. So the minute we left the room, there was another person closely attached to us, following us from room to room, trying to show us these rugs, giving us, being persuasive, trying to close us, doing everything in the world. And I knew automatically we had met the best salesman in the world. It was the Turkish rug salesman. I said, Jim, the only way we're ever going to get out of here is if we run very quickly. Here. So I grabbed Jim, and before they knew it, I grabbed him by the arm and we ran out the door. So relieved to get out of all that pressure that we were under. As we were walking by the building, though, a man darted out in front of us quickly. He says, nobody leaves our showroom without buying a rug. And you're not going to be the first ones to do that either. He said, come on. I want to show you something. Come on. We had to go. He had us by the arm. So we went into the alley and he took us into this room and he said, listen, I'm going to show you something that we don't show too many people. You had the best reluctance to buy that we have ever experienced in our lives. I'm going to show you something you cannot refuse to buy. So he went into the room. He said, here is where we keep our special rugs, our magic rugs. He said, did you ever hear that story about Aladdin and the flying carpet? And I said, yes, yes. He says, it's true. We have them. And we've made a special deal for you today. And I said, oh, come on, this is crazy. And Jim says, oh, this is crazy. And he goes, no, let me show you. And we went into the special place, and there in the midst of a room floating was this 6x9 carpet. It was floating in the middle of the air. He said, carpet, get down. The carpet got down on the floor. He said, get on the carpet. So Jim and I gingerly got on that carpet, and all of a sudden he said, carpet, fly. So the carpet lifted up and started to go out, but he says, no, 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 carpet, stop. He said, this is your carpet and you're going to buy it. And I said, yes, sirree, we are going to buy it. How much is it? Well, he mentioned a number that was a little bit high, but you know what? This is an opportunity we could never lose to do that. So we bought that carpet, and I'll tell you, we were ready to bring it home, wrap it up. They were going to send it to us. I said, no, 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 no. No, I'm not going to take a chance with this one that you're not going to send it. We're taking it back with us. So the night before we had to leave, we had to be tested for COVID. Well, any of you know that those of you arriving in the United States have to be COVID-free within 24 hours. Well, unfortunately, the night we tested positive, both Jim and I, and we were feeling perfectly fine. I said, Jim, there's no way I'm going to stay in this hotel for another 10 days. We got to leave. We got to leave. What are we going to do? And he goes, okay. He said, how about our magic carpet? I bet it could get us back to the US. And I said, yeah. Well, let's give it a try. So in the middle of the night, we snuck out of the hotel with the carpet, got on the carpet, and we said, carpet, fly. And we had our Google with it. So we gave it the coordinates of where we had to go. And for the next 10 hours, we flew over the Atlantic Ocean. In fact, we waved to some of Elon Musk's space travelers. They're out there traveling around. We waved to them. They couldn't believe their eyes, of course. We observed the storms. We observed the waves. We observed the beauty of the Atlantic Ocean. It was incredible. Up until the time we landed in Port St. Lucie, and I said, Jim, I said, did you put the wrong latitude and longitude in that? He said, oh, I might have. I said, let's go ask God. Google. Let's ask Google where we have to get back to Fort Lauderdale. So we put the numbers in Google. We got back to Fort Lauderdale. Here we are, and we are so happy to be back here. We still felt pretty good, even though we had COVID. We were triple vaccinated. So anyway, so this is the biggest problem we've been having, is to keep that carpet in the house. For some reason, you know, I put books on it, I put stuff on it, but the thing just wanted to fly. And even with the orders, it didn't seem to be following my orders. I'd been tripping over this carpet for the last week. But one time we opened the door, the back, just to get something in the back, and that carpet flew out the door. And we haven't seen it since. Jim, what are we going to do? Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We may hear more about that carpet later. Many wonderful tall tales. Do put comments in the chat. Our next speaker, following a level 3 elective, connect with storytelling. How appropriate for today. Every day is different, and today Toastmaster Rock will tell us how different she is every day. Sharing my days is Toastmaster Marie Rock.
Mr. Tall Tale Masters, fellow Toastmasters, once you know, you know. There's no turning back. Pretending ignorance is a cruel self-deception. Fellow Toastmasters, the sun neither rises nor sets. It is a luminous, fiery ball, always. And so it is with me. I am always a bundle of energy, but I do change. The person you know as Marie Rock is a shapeshifter. On Tuesdays, I tread ever so sprightly. My light energy lifts me up. I'm transparent and I perceive the energy of all of the realms. I can feel the hunger of the Afghanistan children. I can taste the greed of the oligarchs. I can smell the dead fish floating on the poisoned ocean. I can hear the frightened children cry. I can see you in all of your magnificence and in your fear. And I can touch the face of God and hand her all of you and gently place you in her care. Now, Wednesdays, I'm a different shape. So dense, so saturated with self-absorption. Your words pass through my ears and through my heart, and real perception is just locked and jammed. Everyone, everything, every event is categorized, evaluated, and judged. By whom? By what? My ego has taken over, dense like a lead anvil, not letting even a spark of light through. I, me, and mine have taken over my light presence. I am a hostage. This is a special brand of hell on Wednesdays. Always hungry, never satisfied. Going on to Thursdays, the shape is in perpetual motion. I do not waken peacefully from a restful slumber. Oh, no, no. I bolt out of bed with a litany of lists in my head. People, projects are thankfully punctuated with prayers. I address each of them. Then I discover subcategories of the projects and personalities, each with their specific plan. I go and go and go and forge on and on and on. But those punctuated prayers, those times permit fresh perspectives and point to priorities. My redeeming grace on an otherwise frenzied day. Now, Fridays are the days for the physical being, where feet are planted on the terra firma. Knowing is more than thinking. It's learning with my physical presence. Intuition does not come through the mind. It comes through the heart. It connects with the creator and all creation. It goes back and back through all evolution, through the apes, through the sea creatures, through the tiny little first cells of life, back to the creative source, which continues to create in each of you today, tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Time itself is nothing but a tall tale. Mr. Tall Tale Master.
Thank you so much. A mystical journey. I love it. Do write some comments in the private chat for Toastmaster Rock. Moving right along. Understanding your communication style. What a noble goal. things were rather quiet and peaceful for me and my dog, says Toastmaster Quinn. And then they were, is this me or is it meow? Toastmaster Tom Quinn.
That's exactly what happened. Pepper and I were sitting there in the living room watching a television show. What's My Line? I don't know if you remember What's My Line. It was a great television show. Bennett Cerf, Dorothy Kilgallen, and Pepper and I are sitting there talking about, gee, it would be nice. We're sitting there, the two of us. And then something happened in my backyard. Floomp! A carpet appeared. Dust was flying around, and out came this cat. And he looked at us and he said, he could talk, this cat could talk. I couldn't believe it. He said, "What's up? What are you doing? I'm here. Take care of me now, because I'm hungry." Hungry? We're sitting there, we've already had dinner, and this cat is telling us, feed him now. Well, there were two places that I could think of. One was the Flaming Pit up in Pompano. I don't know if you remember the Flaming Pit, a great place, and it was cheap because you would weigh the kids, and however much they weighed, that's what their cost was to feed them. So I got on my bicycle with Pepper. I said, "Cat, you're gonna have to really work out." So we took that bicycle up to Pompano and stopped at the Flaming Pit. I knew the people up there at the Flaming Pit. It was a place that I had gone to many a time with my wife and my kids when they were with us. But at this particular point, they still had the scale. The cat got on the scale. 15 cents. It's all it was going to be for him because he's a tiny little guy. So we sat and we ate and we had food. We finished, got back home, and the cat said, "Wait, I'm still hungry. I have made a long trip all the way from the Days to your backyard in this carpet, and darn it, I'm still hungry. I want to go to Catfish Dewey's." Catfish Dewey's? Yes, I want some catfish. All right, so we got into my car and we drove over to Catfish Dewey's and got in there. And I recall when I would go there with my wife and my family, my daughter, one daughter, "I don't like catfish. I'm going to have a hamburger." We'd have platters of catfish, but no, just a hamburger for her. Just one. That's all Marisa would have was a hamburger. We had done that for years. Finally, after bribing the waiter, bribing my daughter, "My mother, please, I'll give you." My daughter, "All right, Granny, I'll have a catfish only because you're going to pay me $1. Well, she took and ate the catfish, and she was mad. She was mad because it tasted so good that it was beyond what she expected the catfish to be. And she wanted to know why we didn't try harder to get her to eat the catfish. Well, the cat ate the catfish, and we got back home, and that was okay. And then the catfish said, "Hey, wait a second. I got a great idea. There's a spot I want you to go with me." "Oh, really?" "We're going to go to Havana." Havana, Cuba? "Ah, yes." Where in Havana, Cuba are we going to go?" "There's a place, you will like it. They got the dancing girls and they got the music and they got the good food. It's called the Tropicana." "The Tropicana in Havana?" That sort of rhymes. The Tropicana in Havana can't be off Mayana. So what we did, I dialed over to the airport. Gas prices have gone up, so I wasn't going to take my Gulfstream. I was going to get my Cessna 150 because it's cheaper to run. And I had to recalculate the ADIS penetration time so that we could get through without the jets coming after us. And we figured that out, and we got into the Cessna 150 and we took off toward Havana. We went south for the mouth. Well, it was interesting. We got into the harbor, we landed at the Havana airport, and we grabbed a taxi. It was a 1950 Studebaker. I haven't seen a Studebaker. I never knew which side of the Studebaker was going to go, this way or that way. But that cat knew. And we went to the Tropicana. Oh, my Lord. It was magnificent. The dancing girls, we had a table right at the stage. The dancing girls came out with a beautiful, it was like a Las Vegas show. I never saw anything like it in my life. The music was fantastic. The people were singing in the audience. I've never seen such enthusiasm. I turned to the cat. I said, why possibly would you leave this to come to Fort Lauderdale? And he said, because you needed me. You needed me in your life. You needed to spice up what you were doing, because you're just sitting there watching What's My Line, and that show's been off television for years, and you're still watching it. Get life. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Tom Quinn. Thank you. Thank you. Notes in the chat. Always appreciated. Well, we've got one more tall tale here. Have you ever heard of the Dutch Fork Screamer? Let's hear about that from our very own Alita Richmond.
Mr. Tall Tale Master, fellow Toastmasters and guests, hang in with me if I lose my internet. That's one of the problems in living in this paradise. But you know, I love it here. I spend a lot of time outside. And there's a lot of sounds around because nature, it just abounds around here. There are still a lot of woods around me. In fact, at the beginning of the 20th century, this whole area was just covered with premium Pennsylvania hardwoods. Now, very nearby me, about a half a mile away, there is the Claysville Sportsman's Club, which used to be a logging camp, because before, next to the Dutch Fork Creek, they had to clear off all of those trees so they could dam up the creek and build Dutch Fork Lake. Well, it was a cold and wintry day, lots of snow. The winter was horrible, but the logging camp, they lived there. And if you knew how to hunt, there's plenty of wildlife around here. So they did not go hungry. In fact, the logging camp had a real cheerful cook who could cook up anything that they would bring in. And the cook was very wealthy for a lumberjack, for a logger, because he kept all of his money, all of his savings in a money belt that he wore all of the time. Well, it just so happened that there was one lumberjack there, Mr. O'Malley. He happened to be the best hunter in the whole group. And he knew about the cook's money belt. He wanted that. And he concocted a plan to get it. He told the cook, listen, next Sunday, I'll take you out and share my secrets about what it is to be a great hunter. So early Sunday morning, the snow had started to fall, but nevertheless, Mr. O'Malley and the cook went out into the woods. After they got far into the woods, Mr. O'Malley turned and shot the cook, shot him dead. And then he took his money belt and he hacked through the ice and snow until he found, he thought was a good spot to bury that money belt. He made it back to the logging camp later on, and he explained that, my God, we were attacked by a bear, one of those Pennsylvania black bears. And I tried to shoot it. I think I got a shot off, but that bear smacked me across the head and knocked me out. And when I came to, I saw that the cook had been dragged off. Now I looked hard for him, but I couldn't find him because the snow had buried all of the tracks. I'm lucky to have made it back to the camp. Well, all of the other loggers, of course, they donned all their heavy winter clothes and went out to search for the cook. Mr. O'Malley, he made himself scarce. They never did find out where he went, but they were not able to find any tracks whatsoever. And so they came back finally. And then a little bit later on at dusk, there were these eerie screaming sounds. And they weren't really sure what it was, but they thought that it sounded like the cook. And so they went out again to look, but they couldn't find any signs of any tracks. And the screams only lasted about 10 minutes. So they came back in, and the next morning they went out again. They couldn't find any tracks whatsoever, any sign of the cook. They also noticed that Mr. O'Malley had not returned. So they became a little bit suspicious about his story of the bear attack. Nevertheless, every evening at about dusk, the screams would start again, and they were scared. They wouldn't do a thing. The screams only lasted about 10 minutes. But throughout the rest of the winter, when the screaming started, they just stopped and did nothing. And as soon as the first signs of spring came, they just packed up all their belongings and left. The screaming continued, although not so often. The logging camp had disbanded, but still there were some sparse residents around. Nevertheless, to this very day, every once in a while when I'm out walking at dusk, all of a sudden I'll hear these screams all around me. And I'm like, what? Who is that? I used to think it was a bird until someone told me this story. But you know what? I don't think that those screams are from the ghost of the cook. I think those screams are from the ghost of the deranged Mr. O'Malley, because he can't remember where he hid that money belt. Mr. Tall Tales Master.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Richmond. Mr. Timer, how outrageous were our timings this time?
Everybody qualified. How about that? Toastmaster Anna Ilsen at 4 minutes and 49 seconds just made it in there. Toastmaster Jim Day, 6 minutes, 13 seconds. Toastmaster Mary Helen Day, 7 minutes, 23 seconds, ending just in time. Toastmaster Marie Rock, 5 minutes and 8 seconds. Toastmaster Tom Quinn, 6 minutes, 11 seconds. And Toastmaster Alita Richmond at 6 minutes, 6 seconds.
Excellent. Let's have our traditional 3-minute break, and we'll see if anybody else comes up with a tall tale, or maybe we'll do a sequential table topic thing. All right, take a break. We are recessed. Click. All right, fun.
Speaking about magic carpets, did you guys hear of the guy, I think it was here in Florida, I'm not sure, who was riding in a small aircraft and the pilot passed out? So he got he told the control tower, the pilot is passed out. I've never flown a plane. What do I do? And they kind of guided him and he landed the plane and he wasn't hurt. Nothing happened. And then when he landed the plane, he said, okay, I'm down and whatever. How do you shut this thing off? I have to go home to my pregnant wife.
That's the hard part. That's the hard part, turning the thing off.
They were saying This is a movie in the making.
A movie in the making. Yeah,
Can you
yeah,
believe it?
yeah. You just sit there till it runs out of gas, right? I guess that's one
Oh
way.
my God. But the fact that he was able to land that thing without,
Yeah.
having it blow up or something. Holy moly. Unreal.
It's easier to land a magic carpet, I think.
I know.
You just tell it what to do and it might listen.
Yes.
You might,
Yes.
it depends. It depends. If it's a
Yeah.
woman who's mad at you, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy didn't even know where he was. He couldn't give a location to the ATC.
Oh, yeah. They said
so-
they said, what are your coordinates? And he's like, what? I'm
What?
in the air.
What?
I'm in the air.
I'm off of Florida.
That story made it up here. I heard it too, Anna. I
Oh
heard
my
it.
gosh.
Yeah.
I know. Pretty amazing.
Well, where are you? I have no clue.
I'm up in the air. Yep.
I think I can see the ocean somewhere.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yep.
Oh,
Yeah. So
Like-
Carmine signed up to do a speech, but he didn't come, no?
No, I just had some more transposing errors. You notice I had
Oh.
you doing two speeches. This is
Yeah,
good.
everybody's repeated. Yeah.
I don't know how I do this. I don't know.
I didn't pay attention. And I thought, wow, how many people have signed up to do?
Yeah,
the
I was
speech?
impressed till I looked and said, "Oh no, I blew it again. Blew it again."
Oh, it's funny.
That makes you feel better. Have a new sales guy that's doing that. Every customer he triples. It looks like he's got a
Oh,
bunch
wow.
of customers.
Yeah.
We called him out on it.
Hey guy, hey
Yeah.
guy.
life.
That could get costly at commission time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Did Becky Joe escape? She swoops in and swoops
Oh,
out.
she comes and goes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Does that.
Yeah, she left and Marie left too.
Yeah, well, Marie promised to leave.
Yeah.
He had an appointment or something.
Yeah. Well, let's see here. I wonder if Paolo or Val are going to have any tall tales if one just came to them, or we'll just move on. They don't have to do that. I just like to offer, and we can't forget Randolph sitting there looking all official and everything.
I'm good. I'm good for whatever.
Yeah, you got a tall tale, you think? Are you?
Oh, wait, like
What
a
it's like to
speech
be
or
40. Yeah, what it's like to be 40.
what? I don't know yet. It just started.
Back next week.
Time's up.
We can do the sequential story then here. Let's see. Looks like we about got our folks ready to come back. Now, the way a sequential story works is I start it off, and then you have 1 minute. You just pick it up where I drop it, and y'all keep going for 1 minute, and then the timer, he probably has to leave his mic on, will say time, and I will call on the next person to continue the story. So this will go on till, we're running out of gas or what have you. And then the last person will say, okay, land this aircraft and see if you can put an end on this story here. That can be particularly challenging. So Mr. Timer, I think if you just shout time at them at 1 minute, we'll see how they respond or what happens. Because a sequential story would start off in any kind of outlandish way, because there was this escaped magic carpet, and it had taken off and it had flown past the tower with the witch sitting in it, who still wasn't happy with her lot about things. And there was Marie going through different lives and styles wherever. But then this magic carpet swooped through Alaska, picked up Gertrude the moose, and showed up on Jose's doorstep with a hookah smoking caterpillar all on this carpet. What happened next, Jose?
Well, interestingly enough, they stopped at my door and they said, you know, this hookah that you think is filled with apple crunch, I don't know what, it really isn't. It's something that really opens up the appetite. Smells kind of funny. And I'm like, oh my God, no, you don't do that over here. You could end up in the castle where the queen is looking for people that birds talk to. So in the meantime, what would you really like to do? And they said, well, we would like to really try one of those 800-person paellas that you make every weekend. And so off I went. I made a paella for 800 people. And now I've got a cat with a hookah and a bird that doesn't speak trying to eat some rice. Now I've got on the way to you. What I did is I put it all back on the magic carpet, right? And I said, fly to Fort Lauderdale, stop at Mr. Barkley's house, give him some, give some to Mr. May, give some to Mr. Tom, give some to Randolph. And after you're done delivering all this rice.
Time.
And then what happened? Randolph, unmute.
Well, me being a spicy lover, I love the paella, but I gave some to my wife and children who can't handle spice as much. And after they ate it, their mouths was on fire, and we didn't have any milk. So I had to put them on the magic carpet to go to the store to get some milk and to cool off their mouths. And for some reason, the magic carpet didn't take them to the store. It took them to McDonald's, which I'm sure they were happy. So they got milkshakes and French fries. And after they got their milkshakes and French fries, they came back home and didn't bring me any at that. But so I got on the magic carpet and I figured say, hey, you're going to, the moose was still there and he had his hookah with him.
Time.
Yes, follow. What happened with the moose and the hookah and the carpet?
And after this gigantic paella, this 800-person paella, and then the milkshake and the French fries, finally was time for something Italian, made of milk, one of the sexiest dish in the world, the burrata, made with milk, much better than milkshake. Imagine this basket of burradas, fresh mozzarella on the carpet. After all this salty thing, the paella is good, but it's very spicy. The milkshake is good, but it's too sweet. It's time for something really good and sexy and fresh. And what better than a pair of mozzarellas, freshly made.
Time.
Oh, thanks.
Anna, here comes this flying cafeteria at you. Burratas, mozzarellas, whatever else is happening.
Well, I will add the Cuban touch to the magic carpet. So I will bring in a big, huge pot of black beans, pork chunks, fried plantains, and flan, all laid out in front of the magic carpet, headed towards the ocean, landing on the sand where a big, huge picnic took place. Everybody from Earlybirds was invited, and several people who were looking to join us too, who were sitting on the beach and were attracted by the smells of the burrata, the hookah, the black beans, the plantains, everything was coming at them and they couldn't resist.
Mary Helen, sounds like the rebirth of Golden Corral. What happened?
I'm not sure exactly where we were. It was some sort of deserted island from what I could tell. And I had no idea who all these other people were. I recognized my friends from Earlybirds, of course, but who were these people? And you know what? They came toward the food. They were attracted to the odors and they were attracted to the smells. But when they got closer to us, they started sniffing us instead of the food. And I got really, really scared because they had a fire going down the end of the beach. And I was sure it wasn't for the food. I was sure it was for us. Now, there's some of us early birds, we're a little, it's a little more stringy than we used to be. We're not a delicious 40-year-old the way our friend here is. However, they could still make a meal out of us. So I said, hey guys, we better get back on this carpet. Take the rest of the paella with us too. We got to get someone else off this island.
Val, how'd the escape go? What happened?
Well, I pulled the magic carpet arrived at my house and I said, I'm going to send this to some friends because they won't believe this. And when I put in the coordinates, I reversed them. It ended up coming back to my house with all of the food that I had filled it to send to friends. So I said, contacted them and said, let's have a Zoom meeting. But I'm sending food. We're gonna have a delicious meal. All the food will be on this magic carpet. Now, when the carpet arrives, the first thing you have to do though is get the hookah. The hookah is a requirement before you can eat. So I re-entered the coordinates. I sent it to a brother up in Maryland. I sent it to a sister out in California. I sent it to
Alita, the carpet showed up with the moose and the hookah and all the food.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Yes, I know. She was sending all over the place and it finally arrived here in my big front yard with all of that. I loved the moose. He was Gertrude. She's a girl, but was just excellent. And I live in the country, but the odors and the smells, the delicious smells, just went far and wide until pretty soon the cars started arriving and parking in my yard. And I had people here, more than 800, Jose, more than 800. The paella was wonderful, but some of the other stuff was just great. And I missed having my early bird friends here, but the people up here now understand why I love you guys so much, because they were able to.
And then Tom the cat smelled all this food and got involved too. Yes.
Well, what happened then was very interesting because among the people that were eating the paella down here in Fort Lauderdale were about 50, 60 dancers from the Tropicana. And we had the black beans and the rice and the music was going and it was just an unbelievable time. The excitement, and the cat was doing the cha-cha up there, leading all these girls. It was just magical, mystically magical. And I am so hungry for some of that paella. There was none left for me. And the cat stuck out his tongue and said, "You wait, you lose." So that's what happened. It was a terrible event for me. I enjoyed the people. And the smell of the food was so enticing. I've got to go back to Havana and finish that paella. I'm going to bring Jose with me. And we're going to just really have a good time.
Okay, Scott, land this aircraft, land this carpet, put an end on this story.
Well, the moose started getting perturbed because the moose is a vegetarian. and there was no vegetarian food. Sure, there was plenty of pork and paella and McDonald's French fries and milkshakes. I'm not sure it was heart friendly, just saying. So we came actually and landed in our yard to keep the moose from going crazy. And the moose just feasted on some kale and lettuce in the yard. And as the moose was finally calm, we came inside, all of us, everyone on this call, we got together around several kegs of beer that I have on tap, and we cheered and toasted this magic carpet adventure that went to multiple continents, deserted islands, the Tropicana. Even the cat had its large bowl of beer. And that's how the story ended.
Thank you, everyone. That concludes our sequential story. Everyone was obviously in time. We don't have a general evaluator, but we can sit around and talk a little bit about what do you think about this kind of program? Tell me about it.
It was fun. I really enjoyed it. I got a big kick out of it, and it gives you a great opportunity to be extemporaneous and to knit something together. And I think that's really sort of the purpose. You said it some time ago, everything you do in Toastmasters is table topics, and it's just an expansion of time or a contraction. And that's, but I had a great time, learned a lot, and had good fun. And Paulo, the peak of the week.
It was fun. It was fun. And it's, something different. And what's the Toastmasters motto? If it isn't fun, it isn't Toastmasters.
Yeah, yeah. More thoughts.
It's a lot of fun. It really makes you go, and it makes you want to really think ahead, be quick on your feet. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. We should do it more often.
Yeah, okay. Anybody can do a special program. You just go a couple of weeks down the agenda and say, I'll take care of that one. You can sit back and watch. Val, you jumped in. You did good. You can play these games.
Thank you. I am enjoying this and learning a lot.
Yeah. We pull Randolph in on it.
The sequential table topics. This is actually my second time doing it, which is I love the way you start the story off, and then we have to just improv off of it. I can only imagine, like, if I guess we could do next, maybe I probably should have more hand gestures and stuff. But yeah, it was really fun. Thank you.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's a chance. I came up with some tall tale ideas, but none of them where I thought I could keep interest for 5 to 7 minutes.
Oh.
More of a 2 to 3 minute. I wonder if there's an opportunity for a mini tall tale for those whose creativity starts to wane after that amount of time. Like me, just an idea.
You can lie more than that. You can go 5 minutes. I got faith in you. Lita, you seem to have fun with this.
Yeah, I have fun. That's one thing that I do have. Always have. That's been my prime mover, is having fun. And I like the, it's tough though, because my creativity is not good. I am not a good beginner of something. I can take something that's there and maybe make it better, but good golly. This is a great improv game though.
It's improv. You take notes on what the last 4 people said and spin it all together,
I know.
Mary Helen.
I love the back-to-back piece. That was awesome. Sorry.
Yeah.
I did win an area contest in Tall Tales once. It was about, who was the guy, the right to die? It was kind of macabre. And my humor
Kevorkian.
It was all about that whole thing. And I did win the area contest with it. I didn't go on to the division because I couldn't do that. But my ideas are a little macabre, and Jim and I were throwing around something the other night that would have ultimately been distasteful, but we had a lot of fun. spinning it between ourselves. And the thing with the 3 minutes, I think you can do 4. You're safe at 4.5 minutes, Scott. So, even if you have a smaller tail, it fits within the time frame. And believe me, if you expand on and describe, it gets to be more than 7 minutes. And that was the problem I had today. See, I had to shut up at the end, rather than.
Well, all right, I guess that concludes our Tall Tales meeting. I give it back to our presiding officer.
Yes, thank you very much, distinguished Toastmaster Berkeley, for conducting this session. It was fun. It was really fun. Yes, but as the sequential table topics, we should do it once a month. It's very interesting. Really, you can maybe, but we should do the timing the same way with the colors. Like the regular timing, because I was about to squeeze those fresh mozzarella and boom, I had to stop. That was the best moment to squeeze the mozzarellas. All right. Do we have any other member comments or guests? What did you think about the meeting, Val?
I am learning a lot. I feel more comfortable talking. I think I can do this.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely. You're already comfortable talking after being a guest 2-3 times. Imagine once you become a regular member, you get into the whole structure. Your communication skills are gonna go from here, boom, to the roof. So you're welcome to visit us again and again and again. Hopefully, one day we're going to have the honor, the pleasure to have you as a member.
When you're ready, you can join us. Yeah.
Thank you.
So feel free to come back and visit. Don't feel pressure to come back as a guest as many times you like. You are always welcome. And the moment you are ready to join, you are even more welcome. All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Do we have any other members' comments? We have a few minutes left. Anyone who wants to share with us? The goals are gone, so we cannot hear anything from Italy, any news from Italy.
I hear they're enjoying the mozzarella right this second.
For the wine.
Yes, that's right.
All right. So